has been taking place, and we have been bringing to you some of the proceedings as they take place here at Mulungushi International Conference Center. And this is Pauline Monga with that as a period.
Yes, indeed, and must make mention that we are live even on Parliament Radio, so we appreciate the listenership that we have on Parliament Radio, and to our social media followers, that's Facebook and YouTube, that's on the National Assembly of Zambia platforms. We also appreciate your following. Pauline, so much has been going on the past 2 days, and today is actually the last day, and of course we're here just to give our viewers and listeners out there an update of what was presented and discussed yesterday.
Yes, there's actually a number of items came up in the meeting that has been taking place from Wednesday. And on the first day, there were also issues that were discussed regarding the health systems and care, the health systems and the healthcare in Africa. And yesterday was day two. The first session started in the morning, and they were looking at emerging imperatives for advancing resilient and self-reliant health systems for attaining universal healthcare in Africa. And the session was moderated by Honorable Sir Kadi, chairperson of the committees on health in Senegal. It began with a keynote address from Dr. Charles Ayume of the Parliament of Uganda, and he spoke about the growing threat of antimicrobial resistance. He explained how strong antimicrobial stewardship can help build resilient health systems and protect medicines for the future.
Yes, indeed. And after the keynote address, this was followed by panel discussion with presentations. And the first presentation was presented by Ms. Evelyn Kibuchi, who is the Africa Regional Director of the Global Tuberculosis Caucus. And she did speak about the need to move from vertical funding to sustainable health systems. She did emphasize the importance of the role parliaments play in financing integrated tuberculosis responses. Yes, and thereafter we also had another presentation by Dr. Brenda Mungai from the African Institute for Development Policy, and she did present on gender-focused interventions to accelerate the end of tuberculosis campaign in Africa. She also shared lessons from the LIGHT Consortium.
And Taza, we had another presentation from Dr. Isabel Oni, research fellow from the University of Stirling, and she highlighted the growing crisis of alcohol and harmful substance use amongst people in Africa. She also explained its seriousness and on the social and economic impact, as well as the repercussions that it has had in the communities in Africa. And we did also have a presentation from Professor Nicholas Labat from the University of Basel, who spoke about the role of community health workers in managing non-communicable diseases. He shared lessons from Lesotho and provided how affordable, or rather Lesotho, and how they provided affordable and chronic care in rural areas of Lesotho.
Yes, indeed, Pauline, and Masbek mentioned that the session ended with open discussions and questions from participants. Like we keep on mentioning, there are quite a number of delegates here participating in this 17th NEAPACOH conference. And the focus throughout this session was actually on building stronger, self-reliant health systems to achieve universal health coverage in Africa.
And of course, we had another session later on, and this session looked at driving. This session looked at driving and resiliency, building pathways for sufficiency and pharmaceutical production. And the discussions focused on strengthening Africa's pharmaceutical sector. And the keynote address was delivered by Dorothy Okemo, the Chief Executive Officer of M4A in Kenya, and she did outline the gaps that Africa pharmaceuticals and the production industry are faced with, and also called for the faster action to promote a local manufacturing industry in Kenya.
Yes, indeed. And thereafter, we did have Dr. Jessica Olga, who highlighted the policy gaps in sexual and reproductive health services. Pauline, we must make mention that a lot of issues surrounding reproductive health are coming up from this conference, and a lot of discussions, and hopefully we'll get to hear some of the solutions that the conference will conclude with today.
Exactly. Actually, this issue, you could see that it is actually common amongst all the African countries. It was interesting that almost every presentation did actually have a component of sexual reproductive health, which I think most countries actually are taking up seriously.
Yes, and thereafter we did also have another presentation. This presentation was by Ms. Ngamu Rombezi, who talked about the need to push for legislative action to ensure equitable access to essential reproductive medicines. There again, talking about reproductive health.
Exactly.
So it seems to be quite an important issue all around the globe.
Exactly. Then we also had a presentation by Dr. Rosaline Acholi, who spoke about strengthening health systems throughout and through self-care approaches, and also encouraging more communities with led health solutions. The session ended with an engaging question and answer segment focusing on practical steps towards sustainable pharmaceutical production across the continent. And the last session of the day centered on sharing lessons and good practices in implementation of the 2025 NEAPACOH commitment, development of the 2026 commitment, and the Lusaka call to action. All this is expected to be presented this morning. So we have a packed session again this morning and up to the end of today.
Yes, indeed, Pauline, we do expect much today, especially that we need to get to learn about the commitments, especially from the commitments that were done last year, the achievements, and then we look forward to the commitments that will be concluded on today, and of course the Lusaka call to action. And so today, remember, it's a Friday. We will bring you live parliamentary proceedings in the morning, but discussions here at the 17th NEAPACOH meeting will continue, of which we'll be giving you updates as and when. And we will be having a guest shortly, and that's Honorable Munsanje, Joseph Munsanje, who is the chairperson of the Committee on Health here in Zambia. Keep watching Parliament Television. Do join us on the other side.
Get ready for the 17th meeting of the Network of African Parliamentary Committees of Health, NEAPACOH.
Welcome back, and thank you for still being with us on Parliament Television and Radio. We are coming to you live from Lungushi International Conference Center, where the 17th NEAPACOH meeting is taking place. And just now, I'm joined by Honorable Joseph Munsanje, the chairperson of the Committee on Health here in Zambia at the National Assembly of Zambia. Good morning, Honorable, and how are you?
Good morning, Tazia. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Okay.
Just kindly share with us, today is the third day. How has the flow of the discussions been from the day the meeting commenced?
Thank you so much. The flow of the meeting has been very, very brilliant. Thank our government for Madam Speaker, who came to grace the opening ceremony for this very, very important meeting of African health committees from all the African parliaments. And so far, the discussion has been very rich with a lot of lessons learned from different parliaments on how they are supporting their governments to ensure that we deliver quality health services. What is working, what is not working, what are the research gaps, and how we can keep ensuring that we attain universal health coverage for our citizens. So that's some of the progress which we have had through this meeting.
And how would you describe yesterday's last session? I know you were part of the session where you were discussing issues to do with some of the commitments that were in 2025. How would you describe the commitments, especially relating to Zambia? How have we been able to move around the commitments that were made during the 16th NEAPACOH meeting?
Yes, I think so far very good for us. I think some of the commitments we made in the last session in Tanzania were to do with the sector budget analysis to strengthen our sector budget analysis for the health sector, ensuring equitable distribution of resources, which we are attaining. The tobacco control bill, which is right now, we are sitting to look at that. So it's in process. The health policy, which the ministry is about to launch because we have been part and parcel of its review. And also ensuring that we've got human resource for health. 18,000 health workers already recruited and 2,000 being recruited right now. So we are making excellent progress on all the commitments which we made for Zambia.
Okay. And Honorable, you've talked about budgetary allocations, and we know this year's 17th NEAPACOH meeting has engaged planning and budgeting committees from other parliaments. What significance has this brought to the conference, to the meeting?
A huge significance. Actually, Zambia is a leading example of a parliament with a budget office. And so members yesterday were asking about how did Zambia attend this? How did you do it to have a budget office and also to bring on board the Planning and Budget Committee? Thanks to Honorable Chatila, who is with us here. And we have shared lessons of how we do our sector budget analysis that once we have completed as a committee to scrutinize the budget, we go to expanded budget, and that's where Honorable Chatila and his team comes in, and then we are able to justify any movements which we have done and the sign-off we have done with the ministries. And that way we've got an agreed budget between the ministries and Parliament as it is being finalized and then put into the yellow book. So that is one of the best practices. And now we are saying we also need quarterly reports from the line ministries on how they are doing in terms of both income that is coming in from the Ministry of Finance, expenditure, so that we can track the timeliness of the money, expenditure, and then we do not have to flag out issues at the end of the year, but we can actually flag them out during the course of the year. So this is one of the best practices which has been identified, and we're glad that Zambia is the leading example amongst many African countries, because not many African countries have got the budget. Zambia is one of the leading examples.
Okay, and to our viewers and listeners, we are coming to you live from Ngushi International Conference Center, where the 17th NEAPACOH meeting is taking place today. It's actually the last day, and with me is Honorable Joseph Munsanja, who is the chairperson of the Committee on Health here in Zambia, just giving us what has been deliberated and his sentiments over the meeting so far. And today being a Friday, we will be able to cross over back to Parliament so that you're able to follow the live parliamentary proceedings. But meanwhile, we will continue giving you updates from here as the meeting progresses. Honorable, what would be your message to the delegates out there and, of course, to the citizens around Zambia and the globe?
Our message to the delegates is, first of all, enjoy this conference, even as it comes to the end. Make sure you take away a lot of the lessons learned, but also enjoy Zambia. We are also marketing our country, the hospitality of our country. Our country is becoming a hub for the region. Being land-linked means we've got opportunities around, and we are saying explore Lusaka, explore Zambia, and the rest of Africa. You're welcome to Zambia. It's the country that is enjoying peace and tranquility and excellent development under the able leadership of His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema. So we are allowing everybody to say we're a peaceful country, we're a free country. Enjoy Zambia. There's a lot to see out there, and let them go and see many of the wonders, including the Victoria Falls. So they can spend a little bit more in Zambia, and that boosts our economy.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable, for your time, and I would like to wish you the very best, even as you come to conclude the meeting today, especially to the Lusaka call to action. We can only wish you the very best. Thank you very much. And we're coming to you live from Lungushi International Conference Center, where the 17th NEAPACOH meeting is taking place, and I'm just from talking to Honorable Joseph Munsanja, the chairperson of the Committee on Health here in Zambia. And the meeting here is being held under the theme, repositioning the role of parliamentarians for enhancing health systems for emergency response, equity, resilience, and sustainability in the context of attaining universal health coverage. And today is the third day, which is actually the last day. A lot of agendas have been discussed, a lot of presentations surrounding health, reproductive health, alcohol abuse, and many others in seeing how Africa can combat these. And all these issues are also trying to address the financial challenges that the health sector faces. And I must make mention that this NEAPACOH meeting is actually has participants and delegates from almost about 18 countries here in Africa, and these are NEAPACOH country members. And we also have other stakeholders that also includes some Ministry of Health institutions from other countries and civil society organizations that are taking part in the meeting. So the meeting will come to a close today, and we expect to continue giving you updates as we progress. Today being a Friday, the House will be sitting in the morning, and so we will be crossing back. We will be crossing for parliamentary proceedings, and our colleagues from the National Assembly of Zambia will be able to give you an update of what we expect the House to consider. We do have Claudette Sindaza, who will be able to give you an update on business that was considered on the floor of the House yesterday, and of course, the business that is on today's order paper. That's the business that we expect the House to consider this morning. And today being a Friday, the House sits in the morning. So I'd urge you to keep watching Parliament Television and listening to Parliament Radio, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you. From me, Tazapiri, it's goodbye.